math and explanation. The hollow face illusion convinces your brain that it's looking at a positive convex image rather than a negative concave image. Motion parallax occurs when the observer notices the foreground objects move faster than the background objects. Our brains are hardwired to perceive the environment in this way. The hollow face illusion tricks the brain into thinking that the background is the foreground and the foreground is the background. Your parallax motion receptors get all confused, so your brain suspends the assumption that the object is stationary. This results in reverse motion parallax, seen here. Demonstration. Materials needed. For a standard size print on 8.5 by 11 cardstock, the folding dowel should be about 7/16 inches in diameter. Glossy stock does not work well because it reflects the light on areas that expose the concave object. Dark black areas on the canvas can also be highly reflective, so make sure you lighten any dark part of the images. You will need a bathroom towel or an ironing board for the curling surface. Instructions. The pages are to be curled and never creased. The demonstration that we were shown started with a flat towel laid down on the table. It was like ironing a garment. We were shown how to overfold the cardstock a little bit. The process of folding is similar to rolling dough. You fold the high spots of the painting so that they are now low spots on the paper. Then we were shown how to release the paper slightly so that it matches the contour of the silhouette. The cardstock retained its memory pretty well without fixative. She even showed us how to reverse the process so that the paper stock became flat again. The contour to shape the figure is embedded in the 2D image itself. Usually it's a symmetrical hyperbola that matches the silhouette of the figure itself. For instance, the butterfly uses alternating horizontal folds, which causes the hollow face plus reverse perspective illusions to occur. The shape of the paper fold is the silhouette of her side. She even twists her feet back and forth just as I remember it. Presentation. Try viewing the illusion with one eye. It can help you see the animation better because it tricks your depth of perception. Your mind will make sense of the concave image by automatically inverting it to a convex image. Stare directly at the eyes of the fair person or the animal. You can view the illusion with both eyes too. If you've ever viewed a 3D stereogram, a magic eye, then you should be able to see these illusions too. Stare slightly past the image surface with both eyes. Use your peripheral vision to observe the animation as it occurs. The animation can best be seen when the viewer moves horizontally or vertically. Extreme positions viewed at wide angles may yield explicit clues. The paintings contain the information needed to reveal the illusion hidden inside of them. The pages containing the 12 paintings are actually unfolded illusions. These illusions combine horizontal origami folds and vertical tatagami folds. The technique that was shown to us in 1998 used a wooden dowel to curl the paper rather than to crease it, similar to wet folding. It was also a form of action origami that involves the viewer to move. Kirigami is optional to enhance the illusion and view the art in its intended form. The illusions are caused by hollow face illusions and reverse perspective illusions. The frames of the lenticular display were taken from the paintings that were being viewed at different angles and different shapes. The movement of the viewer causes the kirigami to animate like puppets, as a vivid action origami. A simpler origami illusion can be viewed by folding books' pages or copies of them with a dry wooden dowel, or they can be fully displayed as kirigami dioramas by cutting them out. Here's an overview from Wikipedia. Kirigami is a term used in Japan for paper cutting. Kira means cut, and gami, converted from kami, means paper. Traditional Japanese origami often used cutting techniques, but modern innovations have made the use of cuts unnecessary. Most origami designers use the term kirigami to describe models with cuts now. The shift in the technique occurred somewhere in the 60s and 70s. Early origami books often use cuts, but they have virtually disappeared from the modern era, so most modern books don't even mention cutting at all. Wet folding. Wet folding is a technique that creates gentle curves rather than straight folds and flat surfaces. The paper is dampened to help shape the model that dries in place. It is used to create realistic animal models. External sizing is done by applying stiff adhesive that dissolves in water to be soft and flexible while it's wet. Action origami. Action origami involves a moving object technique. Origami can move or require the viewer to apply some action. Actions include origami that flies, requires inflation to complete, or when complete uses the kinetic energy of a person's hands applied at a certain region on the model to move another flap or limb. Action origami first appeared to become popular with the traditional Japanese flapping bird. One example is Robert Lang's Instrumentalists. When the heads are pulled away from their bodies, their hands resemble the playing of music. Ethics and copyright. Copyright in origami designs and the use of models has become an increasingly important issue in the community, as the internet has made the sale and distribution of pirated designs very easy. It is considered good etiquette to always credit the original artist and the folder when displaying origami models. It has been claimed that all commercial rights to designs and models are typically reserved for origami artists. However, the degree to which this can be enforced has been disputed. Under such a view, a person who folds a model using a legally obtained design could publicly display the model unless such rights were specifically reserved, whereas folding a design for money or commercial use of a photo, for instance, would require consent. The Origami Authors and Creators Group was set up to represent the copyright interests of origami artists and facilitate permission requests. However, a court in Japan has asserted that the folding method for an origami model comprises an idea and not a creative expression, and thus is not protected under the copyright law. Further, the court stated that the method to folding origami is in public domain. One cannot avoid using the same folding creases or the same arrows to show direction in which to fold the paper. Therefore, it is legal to redraw the folding instructions of a model of another author, even if the redrawn instructions share similarities to the original ones, as long as those similarities are functional in nature. The redrawn instructions may be republished and even sold without the necessity of any permission under the original author. In 2000, Byron said in an interview that he had a real passion for the last decade and a half for the creation of electronic content based on books.